Hi everybody, hello, welcome to this Pranic Sunday. So today is a really fun topic. We are going to be discussing aerokinesis, right? So if you're anything like me right now, I am really into the spiritual discipline, right? Into the honing of our true skills, right? Our true skills, our true nature. You'll have seen on these Pranic Sunday videos that we talk about a variety of things such as nourishment, receiving nourishment from the sun rather than from food, from water. We've spoke about breathing, and we've got loads more really wonderful topics to come as well. But today was really called just because I'm really moving into a deeper learning with this myself, as I remember how to intentionally practice the kinesises. So aerokinesis, hydrokinesis, pyrokinesis, electrokinesis, telekinesis, right? So what are all of those? So it's the manipulation and the movement of energy in different states of forms, right? So for example, aerokinesis is, as you can imagine, is manipulation of the air, right? So it's movement of the air. Telekinesis is movement of an object, right? Pyrokinesis, that of fire, and waterkinesis of water, or hydrokinesis of water, right? So it's fairly self-explanatory in kind of what that is. And it's really interesting because, people always kind of want to jump straight into, okay, let's practice it, let's do it, I want to do it, I want to be doing all of this stuff. But it actually takes a fair amount of, there are a few things that really need to be practiced first, right? So we need to be at a stage in our spiritual growth where we are not easily triggered, right? Because oftentimes the abilities with the kinesises, some people have maybe experienced moving objects because their emotions have been high, but that means that it only will work if you are volatile or in a volatile state, right? Or if your emotions are really fueled by something, right? And we know that the deeper into our spiritual path that we get, the less that we want to be able to be triggered. We want to be practicing this non-duality where we can just witness things, right? Because that's how we do the healing, and that's how we really manifest with intention. That's how we really create and hone our ability as the master humans that we are, right? So there are a few things that we really need to kind of get underway and under our belt first. So one of them would be, how easily triggered are we, right? How easily triggered are we? Are we able to be in a space of, a lot of kind of drama and chaos in the outside world, but then finding ourselves calm and at peace, not swayed? There's anything in the emotional field that may be connected with any trauma related to whatever may be happening. We've healed that, we've integrated those shadows, right? So we've got to be at some level of that already, practicing that, being aware, being conscious, being consciously aware of what's going on within us, right? That discernment. We also have to be in a space of gratitude, right? Because the kinesises really work best with our hearts being open, our hearts being really open, because to be able to manipulate any of the energies, we have to find oneness in the elements that we're working with, or the objects that we're working with, right? We have to be coming from a place of higher intention as well, right? If we're trying to manipulate from a fear perspective, so in order to control, that's not really going to work, right? So we have to be at a place where we're operating from our heart space. So some things that you should be practicing already, that would be beneficial to be practicing already, would be, gratitude, right? Daily gratitude, making sure that, you feel genuinely appreciative for everything that is here around you. And that's going to come really key, and I will share that in just a moment, because this is where we're going to start with aerokinesis. But yeah, that appreciation, that gratitude, that love, right? That understanding, the deeper knowing that, there is always a bigger reason and a bigger purpose, that we are the creators of our own reality. If you've been watching my videos for some time, you'll know that I talk about this a lot. And for some people, they're just not ready to hear that. They're not ready to hear that we've created the reality that is around us, every experience, right? Because we're still maybe pointing the finger. And that's okay, but you're going to struggle to master these particular skills, right? And learn. And we're learning together. I just want to say this, I'm not already a master. I'm not going to just like light a ball of fire in my hand or anything like that. But we're going to learn together, because why not share it? Why not share what I'm learning with everyone else? Because I know people ask these questions, right? And people do want to know where to find it. So yeah, we want to be in a space of appreciation, of gratitude. We want to be able to be calm, to calm ourselves, to be aware and to be able to discern, right? You know, to be living from that heart space and working with our breath, right? You know, working with our breath. We want to be able to, we want to be looking after our body, our temple, right? This is our temple. So if we're not eating and drinking cleanly, and if we're surrounding ourselves by toxic things, it's going to be very difficult, because what happens when we've filled our body with toxic things, whether that is what we're listening to, seeing, who we're spending time with, what we're putting in our body, how we're moving our body, or if we're not moving our body, how often we're inside versus outside, you know, what happens is the energy will still be stuck, right? So actually trying to move energy through you and connect with another object or another thing, it's going to be very tricky if there are so many blocks within you. So I hope this is all making sense. But we're going to look at aerokinesis first, because this is one of the easiest things to kind of, the easiest ones to kind of tap into first, because the air is all around us. It's so nourishing, it is full, right? So we're going to work a little bit with the breath today. We're going to practice how we're going to actually connect with the air, right? And we're going to practice for a little space of time, you know, throughout the week, right? So if you are you know, if you are keen on learning this, then you will want to be consistently practicing this. And this isn't for a long time every day that you'll be practicing, just consistently, short bursts, consistently. Okay. So we're going to get started. And I just want you to find yourself, outside is usually better when you're first learning kind of this connection, right? Because we want to be outside, we want to be outside with nature, we want to be outside where we can really feel the flow of the air. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take a deep breath in first. Really allow that breath to fill your heart space. And normally when we breathe, we don't actually breathe all that deep. We only go to really about here on our chest, right? Which is only about 15-20% oxygen. We want full oxygen, right? We need a lot more oxygen inside us to be able to do any of the kinesises, right? So we do need to be working with breath. So when we breathe in deeply, normally we'd want to stop here at the breath. We're going to continue to breathe in. And take that breath down to the bottom of the lungs, down to your stomach. Hold it there. Breathe it out. You're just going to continue to breathe slowly just for a few breaths. And you're going to do that at your own pace. Whatever is normal for you, you're going to just extend your breath a little bit more. And what we're going to do as we're doing that is I want you to visualize. See the air as golden, right? See the air as golden light. It's very easy to visualize whilst I've got the sun shining on me as well. So that's why it's always helpful to be outside. But visualize the air as golden light. And as you are breathing in, you may be breathing in through your mouth or through your nose. Wherever that air is going in, it's flowing in like a tide. Just like it's swirling and going through your nasal cavity, going down your throat, and just visualize that. Visualize that breath and just that appreciation for the air. The air is all around us. I'm sat in a garden right now. There's laundry, there's washing on the line, and that air is gently blowing and gently moving the washing on the line, right? You know, the appreciation that I have for that air just, you know, showing me that it's physically there as well, because how else do we see it? Because it seems invisible to us. Continue to breathe slowly as I'm talking to you here. But the air is all around us, right? When we can have appreciation for what it is bringing us, because it brings us the nutrients, it brings us the breath that we need. The first thing we do when we enter this world is we breathe in, the last thing we do is we breathe out. Right? Breath is everything. Breath and air is the basis of all the other elements, right? You know, without air and oxygen, we wouldn't have fire. Without the molecules of air, we wouldn't have water, right? And the water goes into the earth to make it solid, right? You know, all of the elements kind of, they interlink with one another. Air is within all of us, right? Although our bodies are like 75-80% water, you know, air is within that water, right? Which is within the earth of our physical body, you know. So I say this because we really, you know, we underestimate air and what it can do and how it feeds us and nourishes us and brings us what it is that we need, right? So as you're breathing in slowly and deeply, just feel that love for the air flowing in and flowing out. You can even, you know, hold your hand up, feel the breeze on your hand. Love it, appreciate it. This is the basis. This is the basis of what it is that we're doing. If we can't do this, we're never actually going to be able to, you know, to experience the physical manifestation of us moving the air. So we're going to carry on doing that. And you know, you may decide to shift your breath at some point. You may decide to go from slow breathing to then go into really quick, just for a few bursts, and then slow it right back down. But the purpose of this video is to introduce the connection of air to you, and to see it. Every time you see a flower, a tree, something move, every time you feel the pressure of that air, right? The wind just blew my hair then, right? Visualize that, like see that happening with like a golden swirl of something, right? Put a colour in there. Let your imagination put a colour into the air. Imagine that you literally have taken a screenshot of whatever is in front of you, and you had a pen, you're just drawing. You're drawing the air, right? The birds take flight because of the air. You know, it's not because of their wings or anything like that. It's not because of their muscles. The birds take flight because of the thermals of the air, right? So we have to learn to love air first, right? And we really start to do that, when we really start to hone that ability, you know, that's when we will actually go into an actual practice, right? But it is going to take some practice of just breathing deeply and slowly, really finding appreciation. And especially if you've got any breathing difficulties. If you have any breathing difficulties, there'll be many other things as to why that will be, you know, on a metaphysical level. But also as well, there is a fear of the air, right? There is a fear of the lack of air, right? So if you've ever had any breathing difficulties or asthma or anything like that in your life, you know, it's going to be really important to actually just practice connecting with the air itself as a being, as an entity, right? But just practice focusing and seeing how the light shifts and moves, right? How things shift and move because of the air, and just noticing that, and as though you're drawing golden swirls and the patterns that they're making. This is where we're going to start. There is going to be a part 2 to this. We're going to go through all the kinesises, but we're going to start with aerokinesis. There may be 2 or 3 parts to this before we actually get to the actual practice of moving air and physically seeing it with your eyes. Okay, first thing, practice the breathing. Practice breathing in deeply, really filling your lungs, filling yourself up, right? Practice seeing the air go in and being with that consciousness of the air as it moves through your body, in and out, connecting with your blood even, moving in and out. How it nourishes you is that breath of life, it's healing, right? Practice the gratitude and appreciation for that breath, for the air around, and just notice, spend time this week noticing how the air is moving and what it's actually doing, how all around us is. This space is not empty. Air is not empty space, right? It is full. It is so full. Just the frequency is much higher, right? So we have to match our frequency to that. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this video up because I want to keep these videos to under 15 minutes for every Pranic Sunday. That's what you're practicing this week. I'd love to hear how your relationship with air was initially and originally, and how it's developing through the week as you practice this. Let me know. I want to hear. We will come back for part 2 where we'll develop this to an actual practice. Okay, but until then, I'm going to send you all so much love. Happy practicing, happy breathing, right? And do check the link for if you look in the link in my bio, you'll see the Pranic family, my Pranic journey. That link, I'll put it, if it's on Facebook, you're watching this on YouTube, I'll actually link it in the bio, in the description box below. But have a look at that, because we have a wonderful Telegram group where we have various subtopics, right? So tantra, breathwork, you know, body movement, juicing, fasting, you know, all that type of stuff, where we actually teach one another, we help one another remember. And that group is brilliant for really enhancing what it is that you're here to remember. If you feel like you're here to know how to do those skills, and that really intrigues you or draws you in, then it might be worthwhile checking out that link. We have a Pranic feast coming up, I think, at the end of April. When I know when that is, I will let you all know. But in the meantime, so you just have me go to someone at the door. But in the meantime, I'm going to send you all so much love. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you. You'll probably have seen the weekly reading that I've done on YouTube by now. I hope that resonates as well. But in the meantime, I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.